Yo, it's Chris Webby. Check it out, Hot New Hip Hop.
Listen, I'm just here to kick it, regardless of if you with it, regardless of the critics getting all up in my business.
Chemically Imbalanced is my debut album. Now, anyone who listens to hip hop, whether you're familiar with my music or not, I'm sure you've seen my name come up plenty of times if you're checking the blogs. You know, I've been around for a little bit. This is my 11th project, but I would say it's in a way both my 11th and my first, because this is really both like the end of a chapter and the beginning of a new one. And basically the mission with this is, this is an album. This is the first project that's in stores. This is the first time a lot of people are gonna hear me for either the first time or for the first time in a long time. And they may have made an opinion in 2009 that, you know, is no longer valid and needs to be reassessed with this new project. The maturity and growth musically and creatively is, you know, very evident in this project. So the mission is to just make sure that motherfuckers listen to this one, because it's time to open your eyes and open your ears and just pay attention. And if you don't like it after this, then you don't like Chris Webby, and that's okay too. That's fine, you know? But if you don't really know and you heard maybe a song back in the day and you're like, yeah, fuck this kid, yo, Connecticut, what? Listen, just listen to this project, man, you know? The title, Chemically Imbalanced, of course, people are quick to, you know, associate it with some sort of drug reference, and it's not that that isn't an aspect of it, because of course, you know, as anyone who knows about me knows, I have A.D.D, this and that, and haven't been shy about referencing drugs in, you know, the past years, but this project's far more mature, and really what I'm talking about is just kind of me. I think everyone's a little chemically imbalanced. You know, you catch me at one time, I'll be feeling a certain way. You catch me a few hours later, you might get a totally different conversation out of me. So it's just, you know, I'm a little crazy, but I think that in itself is relatable, you know, because who isn't in this day and age? There's just too much going on, too many distractions from life. The title track, Chemically Imbalanced itself, which is produced by Scott Storch, which, you know, if you're a hip hop fan from my generation, is pretty crazy, because he, you know, he's pretty much defined an era. He defined a sound with his production. So that was amazing. And that song really touches upon, you know, the more drug aspect of it. But the other songs are, you know, there's all sorts of stuff on there. I talk about, you know, environmental issues such as climate change and like politics and, you know, all the corruption that's going on behind the scenes there. And, you know, I talk about my life, you know, being kind of just a normal guy who's now dealing with this being a rapper thing, and how that's kind of difficult when you are really a normal dude and you try to keep that normal. You don't forget where you came from, but you still got to deal with all this other stuff. Because I'm not one who's really embraces the stardom. Like, you know, I don't think I'm better than anyone. I don't walk around with 10 chains on and sunglasses thinking that I'm, you know, from another planet and above everyone around me. So it's weird when you're treated that way to an extent. So I touch upon that. You know, touch upon, of course, partying, you know, because that's an ever-present theme as well in my music, because, you know, that's what I like to do. I've grown into a businessman, but don't get me wrong, I still like to have a good time. And of course, for the fans that are, you know, my old mixtape listeners that love the punchlines and are expecting metaphors, bars, you know, the multi-syllable rhyme schemes, there's plenty of that too. Working with Scott Storch was a very surreal experience for a few reasons. I mean, of course, he has his body of work that I'm a huge fan of, and he's worked with some artists that I've looked up to since I was a kid. But at the same time, he is a producer unlike I've really ever seen. He's a classically trained musician, so to watch him make a beat from scratch, the song Chemically Imbalanced, he literally was just messing around on the piano, and I was like, yo, that right there, that's hot. Like, can you play that again? Played it again, got it in his head, got a few variations of it. Next thing you know, he's laying drums. Next thing you know, he's putting bass. Next thing you know, he's putting the strings on, like all that classic Scott Storch sounding shit. And I'm writing, and by 11 in the morning, the next day, we had the song Chemically Imbalanced, and that was a cool ass experience, man, because I like to work with producers kind of while they're building a beat, and I'll write, and it's a very organic experience, but that was that was like, it doesn't get more organic than that shit. Having Tech on my project is, I mean, Tech N9ne is Tech N9ne, you know? Anybody who's an indie rapper, like, if you haven't been looking up to him for years, then I don't know what the fuck you're doing, because he basically wrote the book on everything that we're doing. And he's a businessman, he's a dope MC, and having him on my project means a lot. He's personally in my top 5, I would say, for both musical and business reasons, because what he did was done in a time where that had never been done before. And like I said, he wrote the book on it, and I'm just happy to be adding a chapter, you know? And he's a really cool guy too. Like really, really cool, really fucking humble and you know, friendly, nice dude. Very intelligent too, obviously, to have done what he did, so. So there's one song on the album called Stand Up, which definitely touches on certain areas that I can't say I've never touched upon, but delves deeper into it than I really ever have. I'm a super environmentally conscious person, and you know, a lot of people might not know that. They probably will now after hearing this song. That's kind of been the one thing that I've always given a shit about. I'm not really sure why. I love animals, I love Mother Earth, and you know, it's, I think of humans less by country, you know, and more as one species that is living on this planet that we are quickly destroying and depleting of all its resources, and sooner or later we're all fucked. And I just kind of wanted to get that message across because, you know, I feel like I know that there's certain people that are in powerful positions that are making decisions that are making this planet a worse place. And just to bring some awareness, because I mean, we have the internet, guys, you know what I mean? There are kids younger than me who know how to do a lot more things on computers. All you gotta do is get out there and look. Obviously do your research. You can't believe everything you read on the internet. But I mean, it's just good to be aware, because at some point, you know, there may be time where, you know, we need to rise up as the general public against motherfuckers that are making the wrong decisions for us. And that's kind of the idea of that song, you know? Maybe I get put on a list for making it, but what are you gonna do, man? Gotta stand up for what you believe in. As far as being labeled as a college artist, I'm 26 years old now. I haven't gone to college in 6 years. You know, occasionally I'll have a party song that resonates very well at colleges, but I don't think that makes me a college artist. I learned some cool stuff at college. I banged a bunch of chicks at college. It was a great time, don't get me wrong. I'd relive it if I could. But I wouldn't say that I'm a college artist, you know? I still party like a college kid on occasion, but you know. As far as where I would want to go post Chemically Imbalanced, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I'm gonna kind of see where this album takes me. You know, I know it's gonna do well. It's already doing very well on the charts. The kids are running out to the store. It's already completely sold out at all Targets like that it went to, which is unbelievable, mind-blowing. It's selling out FYEs and Best Buys, and these kids are buying 4 or 5 of them at a time, because my fans are so riled up to have something to buy. I've given away so much free music, you know, and they're just excited to be able to support. So I don't really know how big this will explode. I stand behind the music. I think it's gonna go over pretty well with a large group of people, and I'm just gonna take it one day at a time, you know? It's gotten confusing. The lines have become blurred with this emergence of so many white rappers, and you know, some are good, some are subpar in my personal opinion. And I think that I stand near the front of that pack. And if you don't think so, that's totally cool, but you need to investigate for yourself and make your own opinion. And if you want to learn about me, listen to the music, because I put it all out there for you. You know, I am myself, I represent who I am, and I'm not afraid to admit that I'm from the suburbs, that I'm from Connecticut, that I'm clearly white. I mean, that's not hard to hide that one. I'm not even fucking tan, but it is what it is, and you know, make your opinions for yourself.
As far as the album, you know, people fell in love with Come As You Are, you know what I'm saying? The people fell in love with that, and we were just getting started. Like, you know what I'm saying? We still having fun with it.
I don't want people to think this is a Kanye West record. This is my record. I would have made this record without Ye, but Ye made it better, and he's also featured on it, which is very sweet. Now, you know, like Drake doesn't even have a song with Ye. Like,
You Guessed It is a song I'm happy that people relate to, but as an artist, that's not a song I'm just like